Welcome to GK Quiz IQ, your go-to channel for in-depth insights and knowledge. On 22nd April 2025, the serene meadows of Pahalgam, Kashmir, turned into a scene of horror when 26 innocent tourists and honeymooners were brutally massacred in a terrorist attack. India points the finger at Pakistan, accusing them of orchestrating this heinous act through their support of terrorist organizations. Today, we explore how India is preparing for a potential war with Pakistan in response to this tragedy. Stay tuned as we break down the steps from diplomacy to cyber war. India's first response has been diplomatic, aiming to isolate Pakistan on the global stage. Following the Pahalgam attack, India has pushed for action at the United Nations, seeking to build a case for self-defense against Pakistan's alleged support for terrorism. Indian Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar has held talks with US Secretary of State Marco Rubio, demanding that the perpetrators be brought to justice. India has also downgraded diplomatic ties, reducing Pakistan's diplomatic staff in New Delhi and declaring Pakistani military advisors persona non grata, giving them just 48 hours to leave. The Atari-Wagha border, a symbol of India-Pakistan connectivity, has been shut indefinitely, signaling a severe diplomatic freeze. In a bold and unprecedented move, India has turned to one of its most potent strategic tools: the control of water resources under the Indus Water Treaty of 1960, which governs the equitable sharing of 6 major rivers between India and Pakistan. Recent posts circulating on X indicate that India has placed this long-standing treaty under serious review, signaling its readiness to restrict or even halt the flow of water to Pakistan's Sindh region, a critical agricultural and economic hub. These rivers, including the Indus, Jhelum and Chenab, originate in the Indian Himalayas and serve as the lifeblood of Pakistan's agrarian economy, sustaining millions of farmers, irrigating vast tracts of farmland, and ensuring food security for a significant portion of Pakistan's population. By contemplating the diversion or limitation of these water flows, India could inflict a catastrophic blow to Pakistan's economy, potentially causing widespread food shortages, unemployment, and social unrest in Sindh and beyond. This strategic maneuver has ignited fierce controversy, with Pakistan accusing India of weaponizing water resources in violation of international norms, while India staunchly defends its actions, arguing that it is well within its sovereign rights to respond to Pakistan's alleged support for terrorism. The potential stoppage of water to Sindh represents a high-stakes escalation, one that could push the already volatile relationship between these two nuclear-armed neighbors to the brink of open conflict, with far-reaching consequences for the entire region. India's Navy, one of the most formidable maritime forces in the region, is intensifying its preparations in the Arabian Sea, gearing up for any potential conflict with Pakistan in the maritime domain. Between 30th April and 3rd May 2025, the Indian Navy conducted a series of high-profile firing exercises off the Gujarat coast, demonstrating its cutting-edge capabilities through live fire drills involving advanced warships, stealth submarines, and long-range missile systems. These exercises are far from routine. They are a deliberate and calculated show of strength designed to signal India's readiness to impose a naval blockade on Pakistan's key ports, such as Karachi and Gwadar, which serve as critical gateways for Pakistan's international trade, oil imports, and economic lifeline. A blockade of these ports could effectively choke Pakistan's economy, cutting off essential supplies and crippling its ability to sustain prolonged conflict. The Indian Navy's flagship aircraft carrier, INS Vikrant, along with its fleet of destroyers and corvettes, is on high alert, positioned strategically to dominate the Arabian Sea and counter any Pakistani naval aggression. Pakistan has repeatedly warned that a naval blockade would constitute a crossing of one of its so-called red lines, potentially prompting a drastic response, including the deployment of nuclear-capable missiles. India's naval preparedness underscores its determination to protect its maritime interests secure its coastal waters, and deliver a decisive blow to Pakistan's economic and military capabilities if the situation escalates further. The Indian Air Force, renowned for its technological prowess and combat readiness, is operating at an unprecedented level of alertness, with air bases across western India, particularly those near the Pakistan border, humming with relentless activity. State-of-the-art fighter jets, including the French-made Rafale, the Russian-designed Sukhoi Su-30 MKI, and India's indigenous Teasers, are being deployed in large numbers, ready to respond to any Pakistani provocation within mere minutes. These aircraft are equipped with advanced radar systems, precision-guided munitions, and air-to-air missiles, ensuring India's ability to dominate the skies in any conflict scenario. The Air Force has a proven track record of swift and decisive action, as demonstrated in the 2019 Balakot airstrike, where Indian Mirage 2000 jets successfully targeted terrorist camps deep inside Pakistan-administered territory. Current preparations suggest that India is poised to launch similar precision strikes against terrorist infrastructure across the line of control if tensions escalate further. Additionally, India's air defense systems, including the recently acquired S-400 missile defense system, are on high alert, ready to neutralize any Pakistani air or missile attacks. The Indian Air Force's comprehensive mobilization is a cornerstone of India's war preparedness, ensuring that it can protect its airspace, deter aggression, and deliver a powerful response to any threat posed by Pakistan's military or its terrorist proxies. On the ground, the Indian Army, one of the largest and most battle-hardened forces in the world, is fortifying its positions along the volatile line of control in Jammu and Kashmir, where tensions have reached a boiling point. Pakistan has engaged in relentless ceasefire violations, firing across the border and targeting Indian military outposts and civilian areas, further inflaming an already explosive situation. In response, India has deployed thousands of additional troops, heavy artillery, and advanced battle tanks to the region, preparing for a range of scenarios, from localized skirmishes to a full-scale ground offensive. Defense Minister Rajnath Singh has issued a stern warning to Pakistan, accusing its military and intelligence agencies of sponsoring terrorism and vowing that India will deliver a strong, fitting, and unforgettable response to any further provocations. The Army's arsenal, including supersonic BrahMos cruise missiles, T-90 Bhishma tanks, and modern infantry weapons, ensures that India is well equipped to counter Pakistan's aggression and defend its territorial integrity. This massive mobilization of ground forces reflects India's unwavering commitment to safeguarding its sovereignty, protecting its citizens, and sending an unequivocal message to Pakistan that acts of terrorism will not be tolerated under any circumstances. Let's take this moment to highlight something special for our viewers. At GK Quiz IQ, we're thrilled to offer our India GK ebook, a comprehensive and engaging resource packed with fascinating facts. Whether you're a student preparing for exams or simply someone who loves expanding their knowledge, this ebook is your perfect companion. Click the link in the description below to grab your copy today. Beyond the military and diplomatic fronts, India is waging a relentless economic war to exert maximum pressure on Pakistan's already fragile and struggling economy, which is heavily dependent on external trade and financial support. In the aftermath of the Pahalgam massacre, India has taken decisive steps to curb Pakistan's ability to spread anti-India propaganda, banning over a dozen Pakistani YouTube channels and social media accounts accused of disseminating inflammatory content designed to incite violence and destabilize India. On the trade front, India is actively considering the imposition of stringent restrictions, which could severely limit Pakistan's access to Indian markets, goods, and services, further exacerbating its economic woes. Moreover, India is lobbying international financial institutions, such as the International Monetary Fund and the Financial Action Task Force, to intensify scrutiny of Pakistan's financial transactions, potentially leading to crippling sanctions that could isolate Pakistan from global markets. These economic measures are strategically designed to push Pakistan's economy to the breaking point, crossing what Pakistan has ominously referred to as its economic threshold, one of its stated nuclear red lines. By leveraging its economic clout and regional influence, India is sending a clear and unmistakable message to Pakistan. Continued support for terrorism will come at an extraordinarily high cost, both economically and geopolitically, forcing Pakistan to reconsider its actions or face dire consequences. As the conflict between India and Pakistan escalates, it has increasingly spilled into the invisible yet critically important domain of cyberspace, where both nations are engaged in a high-stakes digital battle. Pakistan-based hackers, believed to be operating with tacit support from state actors, have launched a series of brazen cyber attacks targeting Indian institutions, defacing the websites of the Army College of Nursing in Jalandhar, as well as several schools in Srinagar and Ranikhet, with pro-Pakistan propaganda and inflammatory messages aimed at undermining Indian morale. These attacks are part of a broader psychological warfare campaign designed to sow fear, confusion, and division among the Indian public. However, India's cybersecurity agencies, including the National Cyber Security Coordinator and the Indian Computer Emergency Response Team, are fighting back with unparalleled determination, rapidly strengthening digital firewalls, enhancing encryption protocols, and tracing these attacks to their sources in Pakistan. India is also preparing its own offensive cyber capabilities, which could target Pakistan's critical infrastructure, such as power grids, telecommunications networks, and government databases, potentially disrupting its ability to coordinate military or civilian operations. This escalating cyber war underscores the growing importance of digital warfare in modern conflicts, with both nations vying for supremacy in this invisible battlefield. India's robust and sophisticated cybersecurity infrastructure ensures that it is well-positioned to counter Pakistan's attacks and deliver a decisive digital counteroffensive if necessary. Perhaps the most chilling dimension of this escalating crisis is the ever-present specter of nuclear conflict, which looms ominously over the India-Pakistan standoff. Pakistan, with an estimated arsenal of approximately 165 nuclear warheads, has issued repeated warnings that any Indian actions crossing its so-called red lines could provoke a nuclear response, plunging the region and potentially the world into an unimaginable catastrophe. India, which maintains its own formidable nuclear arsenal and adheres to a no-first-use policy, has vowed to respond with overwhelming force to any nuclear aggression, ensuring that Pakistan would face devastating consequences. The Pahalgam massacre has thrust India and Pakistan into one of the most dangerous confrontations in their long and troubled history, reigniting deep-seated tensions and pushing the region to the edge of a potentially catastrophic conflict. India's multifaceted response, encompassing aggressive diplomacy, strategic military mobilization, punishing economic measures, and cutting-edge cyber defenses, demonstrates its unyielding determination to combat terrorism and hold Pakistan accountable for its alleged role in the tragedy. Thank you for joining us on this critical journey at GK Quiz IQ. Please subscribe to our channel and check out our India GK ebook by clicking the link in the description to deepen your understanding of India's past, present, and future.